In this video, we're going to try to determine what's the best height for a raised bed. Now, it's going to have a few factors here. One is your ability to bend over. If you're somebody like me that's had knee issues and maybe some back issues, higher grow beds are nice. If you're younger and healthy and maybe don't have a lot of money to fill some of these beds, maybe you don't want a tall one. Let's take a look. We have this first grow bed here. Actually, this was a shipping crate for rocks and stones that was left on the side of the road with a free sign on it. It's been in play for about 4 years now. It's in great shape. It is, let's take a look here. Okay, so this one's about 29 inches off the ground. I find this to be a nice height to work at. I don't have to bend a lot. It's just a really convenient size for me. I've enjoyed working with this grow bed. Let's go ahead and talk about these other 3 beds here. So it's important to understand that if you don't have good drainage, you're probably going to want to stick with a little bit higher bed. Also, if you're planting perennials in a raised bed, better to do it on a lower raised bed, because if something needs to be maintained on these beds, which they all do at some point, something lower to the ground is going to be easier for maintenance. Plus, your perennials tend to shoot down really deep roots, and you're going to need the space underneath there. Even if you have poor soil underneath there, those perennial roots, they'll get down into that stuff. Let's take a look at the height. This bed here is 20 inches tall. It's not a bad bed to be working with. It's a nice height. You have to do a little bit of bending, but it's not real bad. We have another one here. This one's 8 inches tall. Of course, this one you're going to have to bend and reach around and that type of stuff, which is fine. I tend to want to plant my crops in there that take longer to do. Like I said, perennials, cabbage in it last year. Garlic is a good one for a bed like this. One over here, this one's only 4 inches off the ground. Now, when you start getting down to these heights and stuff, you're almost basically planting in ground. We'll take a look at a couple more beds. Some of you guys might recognize this as being one of those tumble composters. Now, I started having problems with it because it had rivets on the hole, and the rivets got hotter than the plastic, and it eventually started cracking the plastic. Instead of throwing it away, because I paid a lot of money for it, way more than I should have, I would advise you guys not to do that. I turned it into another raised bed. It's probably going to be about 16 inches. Yeah, 17 inches off the ground. Okay, so these are my half barrel raised beds, basically large containers, which I guess a raised bed is anyway. But these sit at about 17 inches each. 16 and a half, 17, maybe a few of them are at 18 and stuff, but they're right in that range, depending on how I was cutting them that day. I find this to be a good size container. It does require some bending. I hold plenty of soil to grow literally anything you want. Last but not least, this is my aquaponics system. It obviously isn't filled with dirt all the way down to that deep. If you needed to build something like this for soil, you certainly could. There's no reason you can't. Let's just take a look at this. Now, if you can't bend a whole lot, this one sits at 40 inches off the ground, which is a really nice height. It gave you some better ideas of raised bed is, what a good height for a raised bed could be for you. My barrels work out really well. I can put a stool in front of them. I can do all my work. I can reach everything. And I really like that. So for me right now, the perfect height has been about 17, 18 inches. That works out really well for me. That's about the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.